Hello everyone, Ayrton here. In this video, I want to introduce some initial things about Cambria from this second test. So in this video, I'll be covering topics like professions, masteries, combat, initial gold farming, gathering and crafting, alright? So let's get started, no delays because there's a lot of content. And guys, Storm made an introductory video with some initial tips as well, okay? So I recommend you go to his channel, watch his video first and then come back here to watch all the videos I'll be making about Cambria. That way you'll have the complete content. Alright folks, let's go. First thing, professions, how we see them and everything else. By pressing 2, a list of your professions and all your skills will open here on the bottom right? And here everything related to the character is mixed, for example, attack, melee, ranged, magic, and also the general professions like fishing, forging, and so on. And they always work in the same way, okay? Basically, you will perform an action. This action will give you experience in something. And that something is these professions here. Before we could level up to 99 in everything freely. You just needed to gain experience and you would level up. Not anymore. We have soft caps that we unlock by paying gold. I'll ask Mike to put the complete list on the screen for you, but I'll explain here. So I'm looking here at my notes, okay? So we can level up all classes to 40 freely without having to pay anything. When we reach 40, we need to unlock that soft cap, which goes from 40 to 60. Then we can unlock up to 60 for 1,000 gold. From 60 pass to 70, 13,000 gold. From 70 to 80, 34,000 gold. From 80 to 90, 89,000 gold. And this last part, I haven't been able to find out exactly how much it is from 90 to 95 and from 95 to 99. But I know the total of these three, that by the time you reach this point, you'll probably be well ahead in the game and will already have enough gold. But between 90 and 99, you need to unlock twice, and it's a total of 238,000 gold. And this applies to all classes here, all professions, okay folks? So, for example, when I played in the first season, I was an archer and a mage. To unlock 99 for both, I will have to pay all that money for both. Oh, I'm going to do crafting. I will also have to pay the money to unlock all of this for crafting. I'm going to do gathering. You also have to pay. So they created a pretty interesting gold sink and also to prevent characters from all being maxed out at 99. Obviously you can do that, but you're going to spend a considerable amount of gold. Alright folks, now let's move on to the combat part, okay? We have 3 classes here in Cambria, which are the mage, the archer, and the warrior. I will go over all 3 here very quickly, but already giving a direction even in terms of the path you take with them. But let's go, the mage. They made some changes that somewhat made it easier for you to start with him. But even so, his early game is quite complicated, and I wouldn't recommend starting with him, especially if it's your first time playing Cambria. However, now we can make his first weapon, the staff, much more easily. So we only use 20 logs and a thread. Before, this used another type of diamond. I don't remember exactly which one, but it used a stone, and it was quite annoying to obtain. So now we've managed to make this aspect easier. However, the mage also depends on you having orbs to use the spells. So by pressing 3 here on the bottom right, it will open the little menu with the mage's spells. And you can see, look, that each spell has a little orb right below showing the amount each one uses. And there are spells that will use more than one. So for example, this one will use the earth and air ones. This one uses fire and air, so it will always have this air one here. It's kind of not always, right? In most cases. And there's also this void one, which is the purple one, okay? It kind of amplifies the power. The stronger ones end up using it. So for example, this one, look, water surge, it uses water, air, and void. And for each skill you use, like an attack using this skill, it will consume all that amount of orbs. And how do you get this? Here with Maxon, you will talk to him and there will be the teleport, right? Then here it is, look, luminescent mine. You will use 100 gold to go to it, but you need to have this gold to go, right? So just wait a moment. Alright, we're back here. So talk to him, come to luminescent mine. And here is where you will be farming the little item you need to exchange at the altars, okay? So basically, you have to keep farming these stones here and you will get this item. Uncharge essence. And then what do you do with that? You need to go to each altar according to what you need for the skill you want to use, and exchange it for the orb there that consumes the magic, right? So for example, the wind, which is used in almost all skills, is here. Look to the right of Camp Greenwood. So here, look, Wind Altar. But you have to be careful because there will be mobs around and so on. So that's why at the beginning of the game it becomes quite complicated to start with the mage, okay? However, if you want to play with him in the mid and late game, he will definitely be very good, especially in the late game. Well, folks, the melee, it is very easy to scale at the beginning of the game, okay? And so let's say the route you will be taking will be as follows. First, you will gather all the iron items, so you will be mining iron here at T1 itself, and you will be crafting his T1 items. With that, you will be able to farm in at T2, okay? And then you will farm until you get a steel dagger. Having the steel dagger, you will be able to go to T3 with the Minotaurs, and then you will be able to farm there until you get a javelin. And then with this javelin, you can go to T4 and start farming to get your steel and adamantium equipment. And if you have doubts about which creature to kill to get a certain item or etc., you have this Cambria wiki here. I will also leave the link in the description. So for example, you come here to items, you can search, like I mentioned, right? The steel dagger. So here, look, steel dagger, you clicked on it and you will see all its information and where it drops, see? So it drops from the angel cocoon, and where it is, you will open here. And it will tell you all the information about it and so on. And you also have the option to start with ranged, okay? Which is what I'm going to be doing here. So with it, your initial goal is to farm money to be able to buy the arrow, the short bow, a mask, and the equipment there, the leather armor. You can buy the short bow and the mask here at Camp Farthest, which would be this location here, okay? I just didn't teleport there because the gold there is a bit annoying, but I won't be spending unnecessarily there. But yeah, I'm using this map here from the wiki. You will spawn here, and then it's this NPC on the left that you will talk to, and there will be a little shop where you can buy those two items. And the leather armor you will buy at Camp North Hill, which is this place here. You will also spawn here in the middle. And then there will be a little NPC here. Look, this one is Matilda. You will talk to her and you can buy the armor. With this equipment and a little bit of healing as well, so either you will be farming cows, making, you know, their meat to use as health recovery, or by saving money and buying, you can already start farming T3. And to start farming in T4, it's interesting to use the crossbow and the iron bolt because it will deal much more damage to the mobs. It attacks a bit slower than the short bow, but it's what you have to use. At the end of the game, there's no other way. And the range class scales very well throughout the game, folks, from the beginning to the end. But if you're going to farm solo and so on in T5 maps and everything, you end up needing to have 2 classes leveled up. There's no other way, right? But that will be for a video later on, more advanced. Well, folks, along with combat, there are the masteries and how they work, okay? Here in the skill section, there's this, look, unlock combat masteries, E, and then you can level them up according to the amount of XP you gain by killing mobs, okay? It's just combat XP. And then for each class here, you can level up 5 levels. But be careful, folks, because there's no way to reset this. So if you decide to play with something, make sure you choose wisely, so you can start leveling up the masteries here. Otherwise, you'll have problems later. And you can level up 10 masteries, okay? So as you can see, you will be able to level up 2 classes here at most. So now you understand why I said you end up needing 2 leveled up classes and all that. The game kind of prepares you for this. But alright, folks, I said all this and so on. But in the end, you need to have some starting gold to be able to move around, buy items and so on. So how do you farm this initial gold? The easiest and most practical way, okay, for everyone here on the channel to understand and apply is with cotton. So even on the starting island or here, you can collect cotton around the map, here around the castle in the T1 area, and then with this collected cotton, you will process it DYOR and sell it directly at the store, okay? This way, it's the simplest way you can make gold at the beginning, without having any equipment or anything like that. So after collecting, you will come here to the craft table, right? For crafting, and then you'll have here, look, the glim cloth for you to craft from the cotton, okay? You will craft what you have. You will use a little bit of silver, but it will be worth it, because then you collect here, you will come here to the NPC, right? The standard one, where everyone buys and makes purchases and sales. You will click on the item made here and will simply sell it and will be making a silver, a gold, right? For you to use, buy your equipment and everything else. So it's interesting for you to make a decent amount of gold to start doing all the grinding and so on. I myself will spend a little time at the beginning doing this because I need gold to equip myself and get things. For example, as an archer, I will spend around 1,000 gold just on equipment. But anyway, there are a lot of things you need to get, the arrows, etc. So you need to farm a bit of gold at the beginning to be comfortable and progress more smoothly. But okay, Ayrton, I started making some gold. At the beginning, I already know the class I'm going to play. I'm starting to farm, grind, beta. But how can I make even more money? Well, gathering and crafting are also things you can do to make gold. And anyway, improve all of that, right? Yes, all professions, folks, are important. They have their significance and you can make money with them. You just need to understand how it works. And you'll make money with it, right? And the important thing is to try to combine the ones that make sense. Like, for example, well, I want to do ore forging. What makes sense to do? Abe along with gathering, right? It's mining. It doesn't make sense to do gathering. Do you agree? So with mining, I'll be leveling up. I'll be able to get better ores, and consequently, I can also level up my forging. Another really nice combination, well, I want to fish. You can do cooking, because the fish you catch can be used to level up your cooking. Gathering, the same thing along with crafting, because you can pick up things like cotton, the little things on the ground, and make cloths. And with that, you'll be making cloths at the crafting table, making equipment, etc. So there are several things that go well together. You can see what makes sense for you to start leveling them up, because consequently, there will be people needing some of your items. For example, people who do crafting can make better backpacks. They can sell them in the market, because people will lose them, will need to buy. And not everyone will be doing all the professions. It's not possible. So it's based on this that you end up making money as well. Well, folks, in this video, I covered a little bit about the basic things in the game, right? Teaching and giving you some direction. But in the next videos, we will start to delve deeper, bringing more content about this second test and also helping you to progress in a really cool way. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you will be playing this second test of Cambria, and consider this an invitation to play with us at Tempest. Just join our Discord, find out how to become part of the guild and everything else, and you will be very welcome. But that's it. God bless, a hug, thanks, take care, and I'm out.